Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order the regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2019. Time is 7 p.m. You would all rise, if able, and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Now I'll take the roll call. And as everyone knows, this is the first meeting we have of the new commission, the new composition of the commission, so we'll introduce Julie in just a second. Please say here if you are present. Holly Bem?
Here.
David Blooming? Here. Aaron Levitt-Smith?
Here.
Craig McCormack?
Here.
Alan Needham?
Here.
William Rice? Here. Richard Cortez?
Here.
Sean Glenn? Absent. Julie Eaton? Okay, very good. So Julie is the newest member here, along with Sean Glenn, who apparently is not here. Okay, I'd just like the commission to welcome Julie aboard.
Welcome, Julie.
She introduced herself to everyone, right? Everyone had a chance to meet her?
Yes,
Then, yes, both Julie and Sean are alternates. So Julie, in the event that we would have an absent regular member, the chairman is able to appoint an alternate who is present to serve as a full member during the meeting. Okay? So tonight, we have the full complement of regular members, which is 6. So we have 6 regular members, 3 alternates. We need 4 members present to have a quorum. So tonight, I'll just ask that you kind of soak up what's going on. We don't have any deliberations or anything on the agenda. And I'll just let you know that when we get to a situation like that, an alternate is not able to join into the deliberations, okay, unless promoted to a full member for that meeting. So it's important for an alternate to try to come to as many meetings as possible in the event that you get promoted. Got it?
I'm with you.
Was that accurate, commissioners?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Spot on.
I'm also an alternate, so we're in the same boat.
Yep. Okay, next on the agenda is approval of minutes. Mr. Needham, can you walk us through that, please?
Yep, I won't be voting because I wasn't here, but has anybody got any issues with page 1?
Yeah, line 17, it stops.
You recognize?
I recognized.
You recognize that the line stopped.
I did. I believe what that was I recognized Elizabeth Burt, that the meeting on November 26th would have been her last meeting, and I just recognized her years of service to the board, and so I believe that was what that was.
So, what do we want that to say? Recognize Elizabeth Bird's service?
Service to
To the
the
commission.
planning commission.
Good. Okay, anything else on the first page? Page 2.
I don't know, the line 98, applications, PR referrals,
Or,
Or for us.
yeah.
Just the
so-
typo.
Yep, just a typo.
And looks like the last page. All set? Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the November 26th meeting with the corrections noted?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Just put me down as not voting.
Me too.
So
Oh, sorry,
two,
can you clarify? I didn't hear. I heard, was it Aaron that motioned? and
Yes.
yeah, Aaron and
Dave, second.
Dave
Thank you.
Blumey.
Yep.
And you did not vote.
Yeah.
And I did not vote either. Craig McCormick?
So
Okay, thank you.
2 abstentions, and Julie, just to make it crystal clear, only seated members vote during the motions, okay? Okay. Did we take a vote? Yeah, we took a vote. 2 abstentions, so the minutes are approved as amended.
Someday I'm gonna have to learn the difference between not voting and an abstention. I think they're different things, but I'm gonna figure that out on my own.
Okay?
Figure it out, let me know, would you?
I would think it would go down as an abstention, because you weren't here, rather than a no vote.
There's a third choice, but we'll talk about
Oh.
that sometime.
Is it? Oh, then it would be good to clarify.
I didn't bring my Robert's Rules of Order book tonight.
That's right, I'll be looking at.
All down on the
Mike's
job.
okay.
He gets reelected and all goes downhill.
Shake his head. Doesn't need rules anymore.
Okay. Moving on. Under the category of new business, receipt of new applications, the agenda says none. Is that still the case, Mr. Glidden?
Case.
Referrals shown as none, still the case?
Still the case.
Okay. General commission business, any correspondence?
Don't have any correspondence for you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, could I bring up a topic at this time for discussion? Is there a procedure to allow that?
Well, we still have items on the agenda,
Okay.
okay? Is it, just a general conversation, or?
I think it affects in a general way the commission.
Okay, so you should probably make a motion to amend the agenda to discuss the point,
Okay,
okay? After we're done
okay.
here.
Didn't know how that worked.
Okay, Sustainable Connecticut follow-up. Rich, that's something you asked to be on the agenda?
I didn't realize I was going to be on this quickly. So Mike and I are going to get together over the next couple of weeks and see what things are applicable to our commission that we can work on for Sustainability Connecticut to help get more points the next time around. We just have, neither one of us have had time to get together yet. So
Okay.
we have committed to each other to get together in the next couple of weeks and get something on board for you.
Has me on the hook.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, you said to get more points in the future. Can you remind me anyway, how many points we've gotten and how do we do thus far?
We did very well. We attained silver status. It was 415-ish points that we got. It's a 3-year recertification program, so we start working on those 400 points now.
Okay.
We did leave a lot of points on the table, thankfully, so.
What's it take to get to gold or the next standard?
There is no next standard yet. It hasn't been developed.
Oh, so we're at the
So-
highest that we can be.
We're the highest we can be the first time,
Right.
which is not usual. Usually most people get into bronze and then work their way up. But we did silver right off the bat. So, but we identified a lot of areas where we can actually get points and other areas where if we do a little bit of work across some different topics, we can get quite a few other points as well. So
Good.
recertification shouldn't be a problem at silver level in 3 years. And maybe even we could go up a level if we do it right.
Great. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And the spreadsheet's uploaded to the Dropbox, right?
That's correct, Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and you have a physical copy on the table right now.
Yeah. I found it very interesting.
So, can I ask a question? I think there's things that we can modify in the POCD to address some of this, correct? Okay.
That, I think, was what was sparking the discussion on an interim review and/or update of the POCD.
So when we do that, do we have to go through the public hearing, post, just like we did the last time?
Just like-
Okay, so we have to.
Treated the same way under the
Okay.
statute as updating the POCD of the 10-year.
Okay.
The bonus is that it buys us extra time
Yeah.
before.
Oh,
So
Right, restarts the 10-year
Correct.
clock.
Yeah.
So, and we have a pretty good document to start with, and even if you're only updating a chapter or two, that's gonna
Do we
help us.
have the source file?
I'm gonna ask Glenn for a copy of the Word document potentially. I have it as a PDF. I could try to convert it into a Word
Yeah, It's
document.
better to start with the
It's
source.
messy when you do that.
It's messy, yeah. Formatting stuff you lose.
But I can reach out to Glenn.
Didn't we identify affordable housing as one of the areas we wanted to potentially look at, that both looked at the POCD and last time, or am I imagining?
It's one of the topics, but it's much more complicated than
Oh,
it
yeah.
may seem on the surface.
Oh, I know.
So when, we have to talk about it in depth before.
Oh,
And also, by statute now, the town is actually supposed to develop once every 5 years an affordable housing plan, independent of your POCD. We're awaiting guidance from the Department of Housing on what they're envisioning for these plans. Eventually, the rumor is that's going to be connected, just like the POCD, to discretionary funds. So I'd almost like to, if we're slow and we're working also on the updated POCD, and maybe I can give a few examples of what other communities have done so far for housing, affordable housing plans. Maybe this is a great time to start tackling that too. If the commission willing to commit the time to do that.
for affordable housing, oh, yeah.
To come up with the,
Affordable housing plan too. In addition to updating, it would be an independent document of your POCD, but it's a statutory requirement. Right now, it's kind of, you're required to do it on a 5-year cycle, but no one has been told, okay, the cycle starts year 2020. It's coming on the horizon in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's something then that'll fall to this commission's plate as work. Once that is, that law comes, and it's coming. I mean, it's been before the legislature 3 times now. So,
Melody, you want to amend the agenda?
Yes.
Just make a motion, and
Oh, I'd like a motion to add another topic for general discussion.
what would that be?
What would that be?
Yeah.
All right, the topic I'd like to discuss is, at the last meeting, we all expressed concern.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Alan, just give a brief motion, and then we can discuss it.
Oh, okay. It would be regarding communications to the board regarding the employment, hiring, and firing decisions of support staff that support the board.
Communications to which board?
To us, the planning commission,
From?
from the the parties in charge of hiring and firing decisions. It appears that, we are elected officials, we represent the people. If people who provide vital services for our activities are going to be hired
Okay,
or
well,
fired, we should be
please
we should
complete
be
the
communicating.
motion.
Okay. So I would move to discuss that.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Any discussion? I don't think this is the purview of this commission.
I was just gonna say that.
We're not responsible for hiring or discipline or letting people go, so
So we should have no communication on it
not as a
whatsoever?
commission.
As individuals, you can, but there's nothing in the town charter or state statute that I'm aware of that puts us in that
That
business.
any communication whatsoever as to why or why not, or
If you
input
wanna,
or
if you wanna
at
know
all?
who's been hired and fired, you can get that information, I'm sure, from,
from the paper?
well, you can also get it from the town manager's office or the first selectman.
Right, I did not
Right,
realize
so-
we had to search out things like that. I just thought that as, again, people who are representing the town as the elected officials, we would be notified of concerns, or at least our input might be solicited.
But that's not our business. That's not what we're constituted to do. That's not what state statute says
Okay.
planning commissions
Well,
do.
then, I guess we've discussed it. I mean, that's really what I wanted to do, not so much as make a formal motion, but just come to that understanding. I did not know that we're just bystanders in that whole thing.
No, We're constituted under state statutes to perform certain functions, and that's not one of them.
Any further,
Any citizen can find that out.
That's right.
Anybody can.
and any further discussion on the motion to discuss Holly's communication to the board relative to
Well, upon our
land use
discussion, I'll
employees?
withdraw it. I mean, I just wanted to discuss the topic. I didn't need to make a motion about it. You know, I just,
Okay. So you're gonna withdraw it, or?
yes, I withdraw it.
Okay.
Evidently, it doesn't apply to us.
I understand your concern and interest in the subject, but unfortunately, it's not.
At all germane to our activities.
No. And I would actually ask the commissioners to refrain from asking any other questions related to employment status of any town employees during this meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion has been withdrawn. Okay.
Can I go back to the previous, I'm sorry, because I didn't want to interrupt, but if, we had Glenn Holder who helped us, he consulted with us on the POCD. Would there be an opportunity, would there be, if we needed some guidance from him anyway, that he could consult again? Obviously, we need some money to do that, but I just,
You see if I get creative on funding sources first.
okay,
That would be the first option.
okay.
Yeah, it would be nice to have Glenn to just seamlessly update.
I seem to remember when we wrote the contract, I think one of the deliverables was like the Word format.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we don't have it, I'm pretty sure he's
I have-
bound contractually to
Yeah.
give it to us.
Because I have a PDF
Right.
of the document, I don't have a Word document. But I mean, like, Glenn,
Or whatever.
it shouldn't be an issue getting
Yeah,
a hold
I
of
don't
that
think so
document.
either. But good idea. I had the same thought, you know. He put it together, even just structurally, it might be better if we engage him.
Yeah,
He-
Consider it.
yeah.
Yeah, if there's any way to do that. I like the way he really helped us conceptualize things, and so just, if there's an option, I mean, we might not need it, but,
I think that if we were to go down the road and having Glenn update, or just do an interim update of the document, we probably want to come up with a scope of work first, like what specific chapters do you want to focus on, rather than the whole thing.
right.
But from the discussion at the last meeting, it sounded like we kind of honed in on a few chapters at least, not the document in its entirety.
Right.
Do you want to maybe, I'd like to devote a meeting
Sure.
to doing that, maybe in the next 2 weeks.
Mhm. Well, actually, we don't meet again until June.
I was about to say, because the holidays were,
Right, this is our last meeting.
this is our last meeting in 2019.
You can go Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yeah.
Feel free, Alan.
I'll be here, Alan. You and me. So,
Yeah, that would be,
Yeah, so let's put it, let's,
It's an extra budget item, nobody's got anything left, so there have to be new money found somewhere.
why don't we put it,
and I know someone has.
let's make it an agenda item for first meeting in January, please.
should be the 14th.
You are correct, January 14th.
And what we'll be doing is giving folks ideas about what parts of the POCD we want to get into.
Do you want to have it as a workshop, so then the alternates can participate in the discussion too? And then that way, maybe we can go upstairs, we go in another room where we're not in a formal setting? Is that?
Do we do it during the time of a regular meeting?
Yeah, we would. We'll advertise it as a workshop meeting, and we could
Okay.
just say workshop, updating the POCD, and that way, everyone can
Yeah.
participate.
Now,
Good.
just
I
a
like
question, if there's no motion and there's no deliberations and no vote at that meeting, cannot alternates participate anyway?
Technically, they can,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to, if you're going with OI, that's the way you can include the alternates
Yep.
comfortably in the conversation. But
Just in case.
you are correct.
But when it comes time to approving, when we have the public public hearing and we vote on the changes, then it's only seated commissioners.
Right, but it would be helpful if they were involved in the process,
yeah.
because as we know from last time, Elizabeth sat in, she was seated a lot during the POCD discussions and had
Yeah.
to vote, so it was helpful when
Mhm.
she was
Yeah.
part of those workshops, so, the alternates ended up voting and being part of those public hearings, so, yeah.
Anything
And
else?
Rich can also help guide it, I mean,
I
you'll
got a
get.
lot of ideas.
No, but I mean, you know which part of the, so I think it would be really helpful to
Right, no,
focus
we
us on
need
which
that.
parts,
We
yeah.
need that.
Especially since we want to do some twofers here.
Yes.
So maybe the homework for the next meeting is everyone review the POCD,
Yep,
come with some notes, stuff that you feel either it's bothering you from the approved document, stuff that we haven't addressed in the current document, or stuff that you'd like to see expanded or changed. That way we can kind of focus the conversation, rather than just going through the document page by page.
Right. Rich, can you, are there things that people working on this would like to see us kind of focus on in the POCD? Does anything jump out at you? Do you know any chapter?
There are a lot of things in this
Okay, so we'll just go
document
through
here
it.
that will apply there. yeah.
Okay, but do you have any, like, what do you?
Offhand?
Yeah, okay, I just didn't know if.
The housing needs assessment that we were talking about earlier would
Okay.
apply. The section of the POCD that talks about sustainability, those two sections can probably be expanded comfortably.
Okay,
And maybe bring in a couple other documents that are produced by the CROG. So yeah, I mean, there are things that relate, I just can't tell you
But we
all
can-
of them,
but
because I
we
haven't
can-
put them side by
so
side.
we can review this and try to match up as well.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
like, I'm gonna do that anyway,
Okay.
so, but if you want to, because invariably I'll miss something.
Okay,
Rich, in your presentation to us, you had a version of this that you highlighted with the areas that you thought we, as a planning commission, could have some effect on.
I did. I don't know if the highlights stayed in the one you,
I gotta check the digital copy that's in the Dropbox folder.
Okay.
Just because I printed it black and white, I apologize, because if they are yellow,
That must have taken a lot of
if
work.
yours
I'm just
doesn't
testing
have
your
it-
memory.
Yeah, if yours doesn't have it, I'll just send you the copy that does, that's not a big deal.
that would be helpful, Holly, because then you could, start
Because
from
well,
there.
it
Yeah,
took a lot of work
'cause you-
for Rich to put that together.
Right.
It wasn't bad.
Well,
Work.
Thank you for the credit. It wasn't that bad.
I'm excited to take a look at the POCD again. I mean, I really like what we did, but if we can enhance it.
Well, I think we've had some events
Yes.
Yeah.
that makes us,
Yeah.
we
I
think,
think.
yeah.
and I look forward to
In a good
getting input from the town too, now that we're going more into this,
Yeah.
Do you also want to, one of the things we discussed during the POCD process is having a joint meeting with the zoning commission. Do you want to sit down with the zoning commission the year 2020? Not, this is independent action, I'm just thinking, remembering all these conversations as we sat there. with-
I thought that was pretty good the last time we did it, and I think we should do that as a matter of course every year.
Right.
See what's on their mind.
Because so there are.
I just wish I had a better feeling that whatever our opinion is matters up there, but maybe we could talk about that too.
Yeah, because they're a little busy right now. They're updating their regs as we speak. We've been working on a comprehensive reorganization of the regs for the past year. And they're kind of coming up on the finish line of bringing a product to the public hearing, which eventually would be forwarded to this commission for review, for consistency with the POCD. But really, it's a reorg. There's some new areas, but not, some of the issues such as the planned area development regs, they've elected to take that as a separate project. And the reorganization was the real focus so that you can actually read the document. Like, we've taken 60 pages out of it due to repetition, conflict, et cetera.
Did they think about asking us to meet with them before to get input? Do you know what I mean? If it's gonna come to us anyway, I mean.
I can talk to them. I mean, we're meeting, we just met last night, late, going over, I can talk to them next week. They have a meeting next Monday. What kind of,
I don't know how other people feel, but I don't know, I feel like it'd be better to get our input while they're doing it rather than after, right? I don't know what other people think, but.
I agree with you. That makes
Is
sense.
there discussion when they're talking about writing it this way, if it conforms to the POCD with input from you?
well, one of the things we've been looking at really on this rewrite, focusing is the readability of the document.
Okay.
Because it's, like your 2007 POCD, the zoning regs, if you ever try reading it, it just,
So it's not issue driven
It's-
as
this
much
one's
as
not.
organization?
but there's two issue-driven projects that will be coming down the pipeline with that after this project's completed. One is the planned area development regs. They want to revisit that in its entirety. Two is center zone and the Hartford form-based code. They want to reopen the discussions on those regs. But they want to finish this reorg first, because this has been a priority for, actually, this dates back, it's 3 years that we've been trying to do this, but the past calendar year has been, I've been pushing the commission, and the commission is giving the staff full commitment on getting this work done.
So late in the process, we'll always get our fingers in this thing.
Oh, yeah. But as the other two projects, when we finish this, we start working on those other things, I think those may be, like you said, those, however, I think are things that you hear comments, feedback about projects that came under those regs, and you may want to comment on that up front. On concerns on POCD, just to prevent the negative referral to them.
Right.
So, but that maybe is that's maybe is a topic at a joint meeting, saying,
Okay.
hey,
Yeah.
you know, if you're gonna, down the road, update the form-based code for the Hartford Insurance property, we'd like to be invited at some point in the process prior to a formal application, just so we can hear it. So we're not hearing it for the first time, like Alan said, at the 11th hour.
Right.
Because the other thing too would be a commission-sponsored application, which, you know how those go.
I guess that's what I was driving at, is I'd rather know upfront rather than at the last minute where we feel like we don't have input or.
Well, it definitely sounds like we should give them time to get their reorg out of the way so we can
Yeah.
kind of start anew on the really weighty,
Mhm.
serious items.
Maybe the joint meeting prompts that conversation of the want of open communication between the two groups. I mean, that meeting we had during the POCD, I thought it was a productive meeting.
Yep, let's make it happen.
Okay, we'll reach out to Dave Ryan and try to start scheduling that for the 2020.
Yep, good. Any other questions, comments, commissioners? As usual, excellent job. Is there a motion?
So moved. For adjourned.
Is there a second? Second. Motion made by Mr. Blooming to adjourn, seconded by Craig McCormack. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.